Someone said the coolest supercar in the world is a Lamborghini. But when it comes to the most elegant supercars, which one would you think of? That's right. The protagonist of the video in this episode is Aston Martin Manti Sam for about $25. Zero pocketed at the online auction. Now he's in the auction company's parking lot. Searching for his car. This parking lot is quite large. Sam has been wandering around for a long time. Finally found my Aston Martin from the outside. The car is almost intact. However, the information given by the auction website at the beginning showed that the car has a serious mechanical failure. As for the specific cause of the failure, not yet known, but Sam expressed confidence. I have the ability to solve it all. Unexpectedly, the back of the car even installed a trailer hook. Trailer hooks are really rare in sports cars. He also thinks it's novel. Even stranger, the door lock on the passenger side is gone. Open the passenger door. It was found that the door trim inside had been removed, throwing it casually on the seat. There are signs that the breakdown of this car may not be simple. Sam's hand is the threshold decorative pedal of the original car. The original car was equipped with a black decorative pedal, but later the owner changed it to purple. The roof lining also appears to have been modified, changed to the current color. I guess he should have been black too. I don't know if everyone feels the same way. This orange roof lining looks a little protruding. When I first saw this roof lining, I feel that he is not so natural and harmonious, gives an awkward feeling. Also, the roof is a bit messy. The paint layer of the original line has been sanded off, exposed metallic luster. At first, I thought he was putting up a layer of wallpaper, but upon closer inspection, it turns out that this is not the case. The seats in the car have also been color matched. He tried to start the vehicle, but due to long periods of inactivity, the battery is exhausted, caused startup failure. So he found a set of emergency tasks ready to try. A power start now won't start. Come on, where's gas? However, tried a few times. The vehicle never starts, although the car is powered on, but it just can't catch fire. Unlock with the key again and try again. There you go. Probably what it was. All right, here we go. Finally the car started, and the running sound of the engine sounds very good. Hang up the gear and take away the emergency power supply. Sam is ready to drive the vehicle, but no matter how much he steps on the accelerator, vehicles don't move. That's right. That's that serious mechanical failure. The vehicle is not running normally. Maybe there's a problem with the clutch or gearbox. Sam tested the vehicle's air suspension system, found him able to work. It is worth mentioning that the wheels of this car look very new, like it was just replaced yesterday. There should be no major problem with the engine running. Sounds good. The main problem is the vehicle cannot drive after being put into gear, because the vehicle cannot drive normally. Sam found a friend to put this together. Aston Martin pushed next to trailer, then used the winch on the trailer to pull it up. The whole loading process is quite difficult because the chassis of this car is low. Sam put two planks under the trailer. At first these two planks also played a role, but then it didn't work. You can see that the entire left front wheel has been suspended. Fortunately, the pulling of the foot plate stopped in time, otherwise the entire chassis could be dragged out. They came to check. There is really no way, can only be forcibly dragged up. Let's talk about it. If it's broken, fix it. When it's time, make up for it. This loading process can be described as twists and turns just when it's about to be installed. The rim was almost knocked off by the eyebrow tattoo of the trailer. Fortunately, he adjusted the steering wheel in time. Otherwise, this rim has to be repaired from the outside. The left is significantly wider than the right. Loading a car is a technical job. It's nice to stop like this usually when Sam and the others come to pick up the car. Basically a fork handed over to the parking lot. The car is loaded. Rarely do it yourself. After securing the vehicle, Sam drove back to his farm. The whole journey is not far. It only takes 4 hours to drive there, so he wasn't in a hurry to get back to the farm. Rather, first towed the car to a friend of his, because his friend recently bought one to Aston Martin. He wants to learn something about it here and ask some questions. Carefully checked the condition inside the car and the engine compartment. Can't wait to give his Martin a power-up. Start. Check. The last suggestion this friend gave is let Sam goes back and checks the car's clutch. There's a high probability that there's a problem with the clutch, causes the vehicle to fail to gear normally. After speaking, he showed off this newly bought Aston Martin. Sam's Aston Martin, powered by a V8 engine, and this one has a V12 engine. The voice sounds more powerful. He paid over $36. Zero for the car. Mileage is over 50,000 miles after buying the car. In addition to simply preparing the appearance, everything else is fine. The whole condition can be said to be very good. And the Aston Martin that Sam bought, although cheaper than $10,000, the mileage is only 40,000 miles, but the car is in worse condition. And the engine displacement is also much smaller, yet he felt value for money now. He's sitting in his friend's Aston Martin. The two are going for a ride together. V12 engine plus manual transmission configuration. This feeling is so deadly. After experiencing my friend's Aston door stud, Sam Moore increased determination to fix his car. Because he wants to drive to own Martin galloping on the road. First, plan to conduct a comprehensive inspection of the vehicle, find out the specific cause of the failure, then make a corresponding repair plan when back on your farm. Get into the familiar tractor driver's seat, delay the car slowly to the maintenance area. Skilled operation of the jack, raise the rear of the car high. A stable support frame is placed on each side. Next is the time to remove the chassis guard for in-depth inspection of clutch condition. At the same time, invited another friend to help. He's busy disassembling the half shaft while I watch, carefully learning and chatting about the legend of Aston Martin story. Aston Martin is a British brand from 1913. By Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford co-founded. Its headquarters are located in the picturesque city of Newport. The company manufactures luxury convertible wagons, racing cars whizzing by on the track, and limited edition sports cars. Year each one. All models exude a unique English style, intoxicating. However, in 1987, Destiny Will Aston Martin introduced another track. He was acquired by Ford. 1994, Aston Martin became a Ford wholly owned subsidiary. But the time has passed to 2007. Aston Martin returns to the UK, once again taken over by David Richard. Like a wanderer who has been wandering for a long time, finally back home. The exhaust pipe of the vehicle has been gently removed at this time. Next are the steps to drain the transmission fluid. Sam decides to play himself. The oil in the oil mine is still clear and no impurities are seen. This gave him confidence in the follow-up work. So continue to disconnect the half axes on both sides one by one. Kick off the next exploration. The screws were unscrewed one by one. Disconnect the drive shaft one by one. Everything is going on unsteadily. Bring in a Little Star helicopter, ready to slowly lower the gearbox, but the process is not as smooth as imagined. There are always some parts that are just right. Had to be carefully pried with an iron rod again and again. Every pry needs to be extra careful for fear of damaging the gearbox or other important parts. Otherwise, the subsequent repair work will be more cumbersome. While he was preoccupied with dismantling, the gearbox seems to be stuck with something again. Shake a few times. Although this action seems rude, but also helpless. However, this sudden shaking it also makes the stand next to it sway, as if to remind everyone when disassembling the chassis how important are safety measures. If conditions permit, it's better to put an extra tire next to it to increase stability if there is lift assistance. That's the icing on the cake. After some tacit cooperation, the gearbox was successfully launched. Sam lamented the difficulty of disassembling this gearbox. Much simpler than the previous Ferrari, because of Ferrari's gearbox need to be discharged from the engine compartment. The whole process is reversed and complicated in comparison. Aston Martin's demolition workers, it's a lot easier to do. The gearbox was carefully checked. After it was removed, no external damage found. If there is no benefit inside, then the gearbox is considered intact. Next, continue to dismantle the front wheel baffle lining. Remove the entire front bumper. In the process, an interesting phenomenon was discovered. At first I thought the lower left corner of the car's headlights was artificially damaged because there is a clear gap there. I found out later this is actually part of the original design. The purpose of this gap is still unknown to him, maybe for ventilation and heat dissipation. If you have friends who know, please answer for Sam in the comments section. I thought he was going to remove the bumper, but the real target isn't the bumper, but the recent organ hidden behind it. The problem that the car cannot be put into gear, according to common sense, not directly related to the intake trachea. So is there any other fault hidden in this car? Let's keep looking down. The drive shaft was also successfully removed. Next is the dismantling of the intake pipe. Original. It's all for easy removal of the drive shaft. Disassemble the clutch front four-wheel drive structure. It's really hard to use your fists in this position. Have to stop and rest from time to time. Adjust breathing and posture. After some effort, finally remove the metal pipe that's hollow inside, and the drive shaft fits in it. This line connects the clutch, and at one end of him is a bearing connected to the front of the car. The subframe has been inspected, and everything is normal. It's just that it was accidentally rubbed off when loading the car before lacquer. Now comes the critical moment to disassemble the clutch. With previous experience dismantling Ferrari clutches, this time it seems a lot more handy after all. Automotive technology has developed so far many basic structures are connected. First remove the outer clutch cover, but this clutch cover. There are two sets of different types of screws. So use a small wrench first. Continue to unscrew the remaining screws with a large wrench. The moment the clutch is removed, a thick cloud of dust hit my face. It feels like the condition of the clutch may not be optimistic. This is the first time Sam has seen this scene. I can't help but mutter in my heart, shouldn't it be like that Ferrari? Do you need to replace the clutch? Thinking of this, he quickly took out his phone, checked the price of the relevant clutch on the internet. A search. He found a car suitable for 2006. The same style combiner kit includes clutch cover, flywheel, clutch plate, and the required bearings. And some electric coils offer close to £3. After seeing this price, thought to myself, how much did your car cost? This price is almost 1/5 of the car price. What's more troublesome is that the shipping fee is not included. If shipped from the UK, it is estimated that it will cost a few $100s more for shipping. It's so uneconomical. After careful consideration, decide don't consider replacing this clutch kit. For now, instead, I plan to send all these kits to be refurbished just like the Ferrari was built. Not only does this not require waiting for the courier, at the same time, it can save a lot of costs. After sending those kits away, Sam at the moment is working on dismantling bearings. His goal is to replace the seals in the bearings. When disassembled in half, found that the tools in hand were not easy to handle, so I decided to use an electric drill against this rubber seal. However, this approach is not worthy of admiration, because once the strength is not mastered well, it is likely to cause damage to other components. With the help of an electric drill, Sam punched a small hole in the seal. Next came a one-word screwdriver, ready to tip the seal out through the small hole. The seemingly inconspicuous plastic seal. Selling price at dealer as high as $100. To know the seals he replaced for the Ferrari, it only cost $33, so Sam decided to find a more economical way to buy in the end. He did it in other ways, get it for just $8. At the same time, he also bought a filter for $1 cleaner, and the dealer's offer, but as high as $40. Sam's new filter a little higher than the original, but he said it didn't affect the installation after all. He offered a very low price. You get these two pieces. Saved a lot of money. The process of installing seals much simpler than disassembly. Just put it in place, then push it lightly to complete the installation. However, that doesn't mean his work is over. There's an important next step, that is to use old seals as gaskets. Pad on new seals and beat around with a wooden hammer. But Sam doesn't have a wooden hammer, so he can only make do with it. Use a hammer to do the job. When the seal key is fully installed, start work on replacing the new oil filter. This step is also simple and straightforward. He just needs to find the right place. Then tighten the filter. Due to the original, the clutch plate of the car can no longer be refurbished, so he had to work. The factory ordered a new one. The shape of this new clutch plate different from anything he's seen before, while the flywheel and clutch cover next to it have been turned over. New processing. The total price of these clutch parts is $400 compared to replacing brand new parts. Sam saved over $3. This is undoubtedly a very good deal for refurbished clutch parts. How is the effect? Sam said. You won't know until you install it. During the installation of the flywheel, encountered a small problem since the flywheel pool and the flywheel are integrated, so when installing need to hold it with something. Otherwise, the screws are difficult to put on the shelves. After solving this little problem, the installation of the flywheel was successfully completed. He tightened the 8 fixing bolts in sequence and do a simple cleaning job. Next, start installing the clutch plate and clutch. A clutch in a car's drivetrain play a vital role. Different types of clutches with different working principles and characteristics suitable for different scenarios. In the process of dismantling the bearing, Sam accidentally a small part next to it was broken. The seemingly inconspicuous widget, actually not. Dealers offer up to $115, and it will take a week for the goods to arrive. For this price and time, Sam obviously couldn't take it, so he decided to go from the Corvette next to him, remove a generic part and replace. However, due to port mismatch, he spent another $6, purchased a suitable end station. After some effort, finally installed this part perfectly. In addition, the lock cylinder of the main driver's door was still found, but the lock cylinder for the passenger door is gone. Therefore, also need to buy a new lock cylinder to replace. After solving these problems, he set about assembling new bearings and put it back in the car. During the previous dismantling process, severely deformed oil cooler. Found I was going to buy a new one or replace it with second-hand dismantling parts, but the high price put him off, so he found a good friend let him help make a new oil blood cooler. After a period of waiting, he finally got this DIY oil cooler. Although there is cooling to make this, The device does not have a clear fee record, but Sam said that in this way he saved at least $1. Start loading this new oil cooler now. He tightened each screw carefully, connect every pipeline. Recall the process of draining oil before he just realized it turned out that there was a problem with the oil cooling paint of the car. All the time Sam's car repair style is economical, safe for oil discharge, and displacement speed. Tank oil works like this. He always tries his best, postpone it until a last resort. After all, add new oil and transmission fluid to the vehicle. It all costs money. Reinstall the drive shaft back. This process requires extreme caution. You have to be careful, slowly push it back into place. Little by little. Subsequently, the slippage in the clutch has to be precisely aligned. Make sure every detail is flawless. The whole installation process, although complicated, went smoothly, but when everything seems to be safe, but a new problem arose. Obviously the clutch pedal cannot answer normally, so Valley set out to analyze the root cause of the problem. There are usually two main reasons why the clutch pedal does not aftertaste. One is that the clutch master pump may be damaged at this point. A new clutch master pump needs to be replaced. The second, maybe insufficient brake fluid, or there's an air leak in the oil pipeline, or there's air coming into the pipeline, causes the clutch to fail to automatically aftertaste. Deal with this reason. Also has two sides. Say he is simple because the cost of resolution is relatively low. It basically doesn't cost much. To say it's hard is because of the need for patient and meticulous investigation of the minister. Find the source of the problem. Sam first on the clutch master pump conducted a detailed inspection. No signs of damage were found. Then they did the exhaust operation and added some new brake fluid. After some effort, finally successfully solved the clutch pedal. The question of aftertaste. Fortunately, the problem is not with the clutch master pump. It gave him a sigh of relief. Next start reinstalling the gearbox back. This is a completely opposite process to when disassembling. Each screw needs to be tightened precisely. Install each half shaft. They also removed the shock absorbers from the original car. Sam is going to sell this set of pneumatic shock absorbers, then replace it with a set of ordinary shock absorbers. That's what you see now. Not only did he remove the storage pipe in the trunk, because it is a system with pneumatic shock absorbers, it needs to be packaged together when sold. Compared with ordinary shock absorbers, pneumatic shock absorbers have advantages. It can control the gas press to change the height of the body, enables the vehicle to lie on the ground when parking while driving normally. Return to normal height. Certainly, you can also choose to keep the vehicle low profile drive for a more perfect ride. Stationarity and maneuverability. The only downside may be the price is relatively high. After adding new oil, ready to try to start the vehicle and test whether the drive system of the car is normal. Since the car has been towed back for a long time, the battery has not been charged during the period, so they need to charge the battery for a while first, then test drive. When the vehicle starts smoothly, start trying to get in gear to check whether the drive system is normal. The good news is that the drive system has returned to normal. Next, just put those upper mounted parts, just put it back in place. It seems the reason why this Aston Martin is not normal. The root cause of driving is clutch damage. There are many reasons for clutch burnout. Wrong driving habits will put too much burden on the clutch. Put the vehicle's front bumper back in place and tear off the protective film in front of the headlight. Slowly lower from the support frame. Ready for the first official test drive. Aston Martin's rear line is smooth and elegant. Through Sam's efforts, the vehicle's drive system has returned to normal. Then Sam found out that the vehicle was leaking oil, and the leakage is quite serious. Had to take the vehicle to the repair shop. Unexpectedly, the problem was the seals he installed by himself. Upper repairman reinstalled a new seal and make sure the fatigue is not good now. This seal will not be easily removed. Then the flywheel clutch plate after the clutch cover and gearbox and other parts are installed back. Tested again. All right, Shane, any minute now. Seriously, I think, but found shift lever operation becomes less smooth sometimes. There's even a case of hanging in the wrong gear. Then the gearbox was carefully inspected and found a problem with a part on the gearbox obstacle. However, this part does not seem to be available separately, so he searched the internet for the same gearbox. The result surprised him. The price is as high as $7. After learning the price, Sam said he needed to go back and think about it. After all, it's not a small amount. Just when he hesitated, a netizen provided him with one suggestion, is to check the shift line of the gearbox. Mainly a hearing right. Immediately the shift line was checked. It turned out that it was indeed a problem with the shift line. The old shift line is obviously much longer than the new one. This causes the operation of the shift lever to become unsmooth. After replacing the new gear line, the problem of the shift lever has been satisfactorily solved. Now the shift operation has become very smooth and